Hi, I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here at Highways UK, and look who has literally walked past the stand. I've grabbed him. It's Chris Matthew from Flannery Plant Hire. Chris, last time I saw you a few weeks ago, National Highways event, Net Zero, but since then I've been noticing some stuff that you've been doing around skills and training, because one of the things that's really sort of scaring everybody at the moment is we've got technology advances everywhere, we've got equipment that's having all sorts of stuff put in it by yourselves, and we'll go into that in a minute. But we need people, don't we? And you've got a real campaign going on to attract people into the industry at your HS2 Operator Skills Hub, haven't you? Tell me a little bit about it.
That's absolutely right. So yeah, the Operator Skills Hub, we're using it as our vehicle to attract new entrants into the market. I think that's really, really important. We've got a very well documented skills gap, as you've just said. But then again, it's also about upskilling the workforce that we've already got. So how do we provide opportunities for the guys and girls who've been working in the industry for years to adopt technology like we see behind us from Hexagon and the likes of Leica to provide themselves more opportunities on site?
Yeah, and the thing about that, Chris, and what's really important, I've been to the hub and I've talked to some of the young people that have been there, is actually the facility itself has been purpose-built for training, and it's super cool because it's next to all your HS2 kit, so everyone that comes on can see the massive amounts of kit, or no kit because you're very busy and it's all on site. But this is important, isn't it? You've gone into a partnership with Balfour Beatty as a tier 1 contractor. Yep. It's important that people understand that. How does that work for you and the people that get trained at the hub?
I think the point that you said at the start there is really important. It's a great facility. It's a bespoke facility. It's an exciting, new, modern place to be, and that helps attract people in the first instance. And then the next point you said is that the candidates can actually see where they're going to be working.
Yeah.
So the difference between ourselves and our partnership with Balfour Beatty is that we're providing a throughput of operators who get to have a job at the end of it. So they're not just acquiring a ticket and then have to go on a job hunt.
Yeah.
We're actually putting them to work. So whether it be an apprenticeship where they can come in, learn the skills, go out, get some practical experience, then come back having been supported by us, or whether it's a full-time operator who can come join us, they can be evaluated, they can potentially be upskilled where necessary, and then go to work. That's really important.
And, Chris, the most important thing is go to work safely, because I know you're using not just the Leica Geosystems system, you're also using safety systems as well, aren't you, on your equipment? And so it's really saying, look, here's the super duper brand new branded equipment. You work with lots of OEMs. Here's the machine control, here's the safety system, here's how it all works, here's how you turn it on, and here's how you make it work in a net zero sense as well. So that's important, isn't it?
That's really significant. I think I always use the analogy of like your car. So we all have a driving license, which effectively means we can jump in any car and drive it. The more modern the cars are getting these days, the more buttons that you've got to push to make it be used effectively and safely. It's the same principle with a machine. We can't just expect somebody to jump on one of our machines using either a 360-degree camera system, whether it's height and slew, whether it's 2D, 3D machine control, whether it's our Millimate quick hitch system, and just assume they know how to work it. So we provide that safe ring-fenced environment where we can coach individuals through how to use all these bits of equipment so that when they arrive on site, they're not only competent, but they're safe, and they're seen to be safe.
And the one thing that's really important for me, Chris, you know, we have that huge project, HS2 you're on, we're at Highways UK, I see the stuff all over the place at the moment, lots of different Flannery kit all over the motorways. But what's really important is there's a way of working, and there's a way of working that your tier 1 contractors expect to you to deliver, isn't there? So it's not just getting trained by Flannery, it's actually having Balfour Beatty staff coming in and talking to people and say, this is what we expect from an operator from Flannery, and that's really important because it's cultural, and it's there, and ultimately they're the boss on that site, and it's up to them to keep it safe and working, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's top down, so it's National Highways from a highways infrastructure perspective. They have an expectation of what their tier 1 suppliers are expected to do. We class ourselves as an infrastructure provider, which means we need to enable our individuals to understand what that is and teach them how to execute it. Again, if they've come from an alternative background, they can't just assume that just because they've got a ticket, they understand what that is. So we need to spend that time teaching them. And like you've said, that's where the partnerships with Balfour Beatty and others comes to the fore.
Yeah, and I think one thing from me, folks, is, you know, the future is what this show's all about. And I know Flannery has got big plans for the future, which we're going to talk about again, Chris. But it's really important to make sure that you are moving forward, because as I know, when I put out things with Flannery and the likes of your other senior players in the market, people are watching you, people are looking to you to actually test these things to make sure they work, because it's no good with having technology if it doesn't work and it's not right for the job site. And so you actually have quite an important role to play with educating the rest of the industry, and it's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's important to us. You know, we're in a very fortunate position that the company's grown. We're in a bit of a growth spurt in terms of the market at the moment. So we need to provide that shop window to the tier one contractors to say, this is the technology that's available. We're going to test it. We're going to write it up. We're going to quite literally try and break it, but in a safe ring-fenced environment, so that we can trust it when it arrives on site. So my vision of the future for Flannery is that we do continue to provide that shop window to make sure that new entrants to the market, new technology providers, have a platform that they can develop their product.
So there's two things now, Chris, that I need you to help us with and help the listeners with. First of all, how can people get in touch with Flannery if they've got that innovation? And I know Chris has got some meetings today at Highways UK because it is about finding that out of the show. But what do people do to get in touch with you if they've got innovations?
So as any company, we've got a website, so please land on that. There's an email address that you'll find. It's called innovatewithus@Flannery Plant. So drop us some details. We monitor that email address all the time, and that's your initial way in.
Yeah, and also the most important thing for me, Chris, is if people feel that they need to be retrained, want to join the Flannery team, but also if they've got somebody that they feel that could be an apprentice, how do those people get in touch? Because realistically, you know, you can find technologies and do all of these things, but we need people to make them work, don't we? So how do they get in touch?
Just search the Operator Skills Hub.
The Operator Skills Hub, folks. I'll put that in some ticker tape on below. Chris, I know you're really busy. He's got to head off. I literally just plucked him from the walkway here. Thanks very much again for talking to me.
Thanks, Peter. See you
Cheers.
soon.